Hi, my love. Can you give me a hug? I'm feeling so exhausted today. Everything feels heavy, and there's this persistent ache in my head that just won't go away. All I want right now is to close my eyes and drift off in your arms, wrapped up in the warmth of your presence. I want to feel your love surrounding me, to know that you're right there with me, even if we're just sitting quietly. I don't know why, but today I feel this overwhelming need to be close to you, to be held, kissed, and cherished. I'm sorry if this all sounds a bit dramatic, but I just feel this deep urge to feel connected with you, to feel pampered and adored, the way you always seem to know how to make me feel. For some reason, my emotions are all over the place today. It's like a floodgate has opened, and I feel like crying for no particular reason. I don't know why these feelings are so intense. It's like I'm completely losing my grip, and I can't explain it. Please forgive me for this bit of childishness. Sometimes I get bratty, as you know, and this feels like one of those days. Maybe it's all part of the process, something that comes and goes. I'm sure you must have moments like this too, moments when you just want to be close, when all you long for is to feel that connection and intimacy with someone who understands you. My mind, however, is another story. It tries to be rational and practical, constantly reminding me to get a hold of myself, to put these emotions aside and keep going. It tells me to go out, to find something fun to do, to distract myself rather than sitting here in my feelings. But even when I'm surrounded by people or swept up in some activity, it's like my heart has a mind of its own, and it only wants to look for you. I can be in the middle of a crowd, laughing and busy, and yet all I want is to feel your presence. I can't help but feel that true happiness, the kind that doesn't just come and go, only exists when I'm near you or thinking of you. My mind also tells me to pamper myself, to indulge in things that make me feel good, or to try something new to change my mood. And yes, for a little while, those things help. I'll feel a bit lighter, a bit more relaxed, as if maybe I'm finding a way to manage. But it's always temporary. As soon as I pause, as soon as I close my eyes, my thoughts go right back to you. It's almost as if, deep down, my heart understands what my mind doesn't quite grasp, that true contentment, the kind that's lasting and real, comes from being close to you, from feeling that unbreakable bond. There's an immense peace in just being alone and thinking of you. Strange as it sounds, that's where I find my joy, in the silence of remembering your smile, the warmth in your eyes, and everything that you are to me. I feel so incredibly blessed to have you in my life, even if it's just in these quiet, private moments of reflection. Your energy, even when you're not physically here, surrounds me in a way that makes me feel cherished and safe. Just knowing you're part of my world makes me happier than anything else. Love is everywhere, isn't it? Even in the silence, there is love. In longing, there is love. Even in the moments of sadness or when a tear slips down my face, it's love that brings those emotions to the surface. And yes, even in those moments when I feel needy or clingy, when I just want to be wrapped up in your warmth, it's all because of love. So I hope you can understand that, even though my emotions might seem silly or overly sentimental at times, they're just part of how much I care. And in some strange, beautiful way, I feel that every bit of this is a blessing, a reminder that I've found something so rare and wonderful that it affects me this deeply. May God bless all of us who feel this way, those who have found that one true love that can make us laugh and cry, that makes us feel both strong and vulnerable, grounded and lifted all at once. May everyone be as blessed as I feel right now, held in the gentle, powerful presence of their true love. Amen. It's remarkable how much one person can impact another, how deeply they can change someone's life in ways they may never fully realize. Before I met you, I led a life that was calm, quiet, and reserved. I wasn't particularly interested in what was happening in the world or in other people's lives. I kept my distance, never really feeling the need to involve myself or to let others into my own world. I was content, living a life that felt safe, controlled, and free from the unpredictability of close relationships. I didn't feel the need to share my thoughts, my experiences, or my dreams with anyone else. There was always a voice in the back of my mind reminding me to stay cautious, to keep people at arm's length, because opening up meant exposing myself to judgment or misunderstandings. People around me only saw a polite and reserved person. My conversations were always on the surface, never delving into what I really thought or felt. I had come to believe that no one would truly understand me or that they would judge me if I dared to share my real self. So I kept my walls up and my life hidden. Over time, I convinced myself that I was fine this way, that my trust issues were simply a form of self-preservation. I lived each day minding my own business, thinking that happiness could only be achieved alone, within the safety of my own little world. But then, everything began to change when I met you. You showed me a side of life and people I had almost forgotten or perhaps had never really known. Being with you, I started seeing the world through new eyes. I saw kindness, encouragement, and compassion in ways that didn't feel superficial or forced. Through you, I realized that there are genuinely good people in the world, people who lift each other up and make each other feel valued and understood. You showed me that some people, like you, are interested in connecting on a deeper level. You weren't interested in appearances or quick judgments. For the first time, I felt what it was like to be truly seen and appreciated for who I am, not just for the polite version I showed the world. Slowly, I found myself opening up, sharing my thoughts and feelings with you in a way I had never done with anyone else. It was a strange and beautiful feeling, freeing and empowering. I could finally be honest, not just with you but also with myself. As I got to know you more deeply, I felt a growing sense of trust that had been absent in my life for so long. I shared things with you that I had kept locked away, things I had thought no one would understand. For once, I didn't feel the need to pretend or to hide behind walls. Each day, those walls I had built around myself began to crumble, piece by piece. You saw me for who I was, and it shocked me to realize that you accepted me, with all my flaws and imperfections, without expecting me to be anything else. I felt something I had never felt before, a genuine sense of love and acceptance that didn't require me to hide or to live up to some external standard. For the first time, I felt understood, valued, and cared for in a way I hadn't known was possible. The happiness and freedom that came with being open, with being my real self, was something I can hardly put into words. Each day with you brought a new sense of excitement and joy. I felt more alive, more engaged, and more hopeful. The things I had once seen as vulnerabilities, my thoughts, my dreams, my fears, became easier to share, and in doing so, I discovered a new kind of strength within myself. Talking to you felt so natural that I began to look forward to every conversation. With you, I could be both vulnerable and strong. I could express things I'd held inside for so long, and in return, I felt understood and accepted. Honestly, words fail me when I try to describe the beauty of what I've experienced because of you. The feelings you brought into my life are beyond anything I ever anticipated. You've shown me a different way to live, a different way to love, and a different way to be myself. Meeting you was a turning point, the best thing that has ever happened to me. You came into my life and reminded me that the world is filled with good people, that trust and love can be real, and that happiness grows when shared. Thank you for being the amazing person that you are, and for opening my eyes to a brighter, more beautiful world. I am so grateful, and I am so happy